Hi, you're on the Movie Girl channel. This guy wakes up in the company of a beautiful girl, Diana. She begs him to take off work and spend the day with her, but he doesn't know she's a vampire. Too bad it's just a dream. Cameron is a typical loser who lives with his parents. His father nags that Cam has spent the last year studying nowhere and doing nothing. His father gives him 3 weeks to change his life. The guy works at an ice cream parlor. The manager asks him to close the shop tonight, but Cam is busy. He has a date with Diana. The man just laughs at the chatterbox. This girl is out of his league. Petite brunette Lizzie is surprised that he has a girlfriend. Cam is lying about Diana texting him first. Now, even Lizzie doesn't believe him. After work, Cam runs into Diana. The girl is sunbathing on the lawn, and the guy glances cautiously around the corner. But his dreams are interrupted by some school bullies. Is this loser stalking Diana? Shocked, he drops the phone, but the girl stands up for Cam. He is just her friend. If so, why was he secretly taking pictures of her? To explain, Cam tries to show the latest photos. But the phone is suddenly run over by a car. This guy is a disaster magnet. In the evening, Cam notices a new next-door neighbor. The guy is peeking at her through the window. But then the lights come on and his mom bursts in. Dinner's ready. Cam sends her away and returns to the show. But the pretty girl is already staring at him. Gotcha. At dinner, Cam's father chastises him for the broken phone. Cam is saved by the ringing of the doorbell. He looks through the peephole and sees an angry neighbor has come to complain. Oddly enough, it's only Diana standing at the door. The girl comforts him. Do you want to go for pizza? His dream date has finally come true. The two have a great time, singing love songs together. In the cafe, Diana reminisces about their friendship. But she is interrupted by a new customer. It's Martin. Cam asks him to join them, but the girl resists. When Martin notices her, he loses the power of speech and runs away. What's wrong with them? When they return to the house, Diana reveals a secret. Martin stood her up at the ball. He didn't show up at the appointed time, and now he's avoiding her. Cameron admits that he would wait for such a girl in a tuxedo and with a poem. That's why Diana likes him. The girl comes closer, but someone is watching them from the darkness. Cam has no more time for flirting and hurries home. Who was it? Outside the window, the neighbor is staring right at him. Damn it! And then she's at his back. We need to talk. But how did she get in? Why was Cam peeking? The guy apologizes for seeing too much. If Cam gives her a ride tomorrow, everything will be fine. Cam refuses, but the neighbor threatens to tell his parents. In the next scene, Cameron gives a ride to a new acquaintance, Victoria. But where to? After making sure she doesn't have a boyfriend, Cam starts hitting on her. The girl takes the car keys to keep Cam from leaving. How can you say no to such a dominant woman? The guard does not argue with the beauty either, and lets her in. Cam, out of old habit, takes a peek, but then the guard runs out screaming, but the attacker is already after him. She bites his neck and drains him. Is she a vampire? Victoria tells the boy to get behind the wheel. Cam will be her driver from now on. Otherwise, he will die the same way. The girl thanks Cam for his help and bites him. No, she just kisses him as a reward. Martin has come to visit a friend at work. He wants to talk about Diane. The guy screwed up and wants a second chance. Cam needs to talk to her. Cameron gives Martin's apology to the girl in his own words. Diane is so beautiful that anyone would be at a loss for words. The girl accepts the apology, but doesn't realize that it is Cam who is secretly in love with her. In the evening, Cam takes Victoria out hunting. A few minutes later, the windows of the car are splattered with blood. Looks like someone fell off the roof by accident, right? Victoria's back is covered in blood too, but she actually likes it. Cam can't sleep that night. He turns over and finds Victoria in his bed. She has a confession to make. She may look 16, but she's actually 247 years old. 100 years ago, her master was assassinated by vampires from another clan. Now she's found them and wants revenge. Will Cameron help? Anything for her. In the morning, Martin wakes him up. Diana forgives the athlete and agrees to meet him. But on the date, he needs Cameron's help. He doesn't know what to talk about. Cameron saw the haughty Diana over a scoop of ice cream, much to the anger of the entire cafe staff. But Cam brags about his relationship with Victoria. They even shared a kiss. Will Diane take a back seat now? In the evening, he takes Victoria on a mission. She has to avenge 2 vampires. But the head queen has great power and is as old as Victoria herself. Cam accompanies her this time. In the cellar, they meet a guard. The vampire attacks him, but only takes a few bullets. Good thing Cameron was a distraction. Victoria appears behind the guard and bites the victim. Cam asks Victoria for a favor in return, to come and get him tomorrow night. The girl promises to find him by scent. At work, Lizzie becomes jealous. She invites Cam to a rock concert. The guy wants to go, but he's so busy, maybe another time. He'd rather help a stupid friend on a date with Diana. The conversation doesn't go well. Cam is the only one keeping it going. While Diana is in the toilet, Victoria enters the cafe. The vamp takes Cameron away. Now Victoria is jealous of Diana. The guy never mentioned her. Cam admits that he's been in love with her since 9th grade. Victoria is upset but promises to help. Just then, they notice 2 bullies chastising Cameron. Victoria wants to punish them and provokes a fight, but it's not her who gets punched in the face. It's Cam. He gets up but takes a few more punches. Victoria gives him some self-defense tips, and it seems to have worked. Now the bullies won't bother Cam, especially since Victoria pretended to be his girlfriend. Respect plus. Mission passed. At night, Victoria teleports back to the guy's bed. She's grateful that Cam was there to protect her from the bullets. Now she's going to solve his love problem. To make Diane jealous, Cam needs to move on to another girl, and she knows just the right one. At that moment, Cam's father bursts into the room. Respect is restored. Later, Cam rejects the vampire's plan. He only loves Diana, and the offended vampire disappears into the night. At work, Cameron confesses to Lizzie. He won't help Victoria anymore and chase after Diana. He's disappointed in girls, but Lizzie asks him out again. Why not? Meanwhile, Victoria shows up at the vintage clothing store where Diana works. The main thing is that they both like vintage clothes. Later, a familiar car is parked outside Victoria's house. Cam looks in the neighbor's window. It's Diana, visiting her. What are they doing together? The guy goes back to his room to follow them. Looks like Victoria lent her a dress. Looking at the dream girls, Cam forgot about the date. Lizzie never waited for the guy and was very upset. In the morning, Cam waits for Victoria. What's she doing with Diane? She just wanted to check up on her. Diana's not his type, so Cam should stay away. Is she really hanging out with Diana to spite him? Then Lizzie catches him. The angry girl wants to know, why did he stand her up? The guy gets a few punches for breaking her little heart. Guy comes up with a cunning plan to get Diana back. He manipulates Martin and gets his phone to set up another date. On D-Day, Cam tells him what to say through the earpiece. The boys manage to melt Diana's heart, but the plan goes wrong when Martin takes all the credit and drives Diana to a romantic spot. But instead of a kiss, Martin gets a passionate bite to the neck. All this time, Cam was in love with a vampire girl? Diana tries to explain everything to him. Martin is alive. She just turned him into a vampire. Diane has always been honest with Cam, but why? It's simple. She's been in love with him for a long time. But they can't be together. She's a vampire. He's a human. Now Diana has to leave town, but she kisses Cameron goodbye. He realizes that Victoria knew. Why didn't she tell him at once? Because Cameron was just the bait, and Diana is the final boss she was looking for. Now she will find out. Does Diana really love him? If she does, she'll come to save him, and Victoria takes him hostage. Diana is already there with the genetically modified Martin, and she demands that Cam be released. The girls get into a fight. Victoria accuses Diana of destroying her master. The brunette throws punch after punch, but Diana wins and pins Victoria to the floor. Now she will know the truth. Diana's master was a cruel vampire. That is why she wanted to switch to Victoria's clan. The new master has already given her his blood, but for that he was hunted down and destroyed, and they blamed Diana. This changes everything. The girls are the last of their clan. What's more, they are blood sisters and must rebuild their family. Victoria admits that she met Cam to manipulate him, but she ended up liking him. She says goodbye and walks off into the sunset. But he's more interested in Diana. The girl will have to move on and rebuild the vampire clan. She just kisses Cameron goodbye. The girls leave with Martin and even take the ice cream manager with them. This is what a friend zone looks like. It's been 3 weeks and Cam's dad asks, "How did you decide to change your life?" He's going to be a writer and he's going to write about vampires. Cam apologizes to Lizzie and tells her the whole vampire saga. She thinks he's a blabbermouth, but she gives him a second chance. And to give me a second chance, just subscribe to the Movie Girl channel and I'll see you soon.